I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Yeah, that's right, I've made a bit of a mistake. Don't worry though, it's not severe, it's just completely ruined an entire video. So, I previously set out to record the next episode of our SimAirport series. Problem is that my video recorder decided not to capture half of my screen, and so unfortunately all of that video had to be scrapped. However, I'll quickly run through everything that's changed, and we can try and get on with the video, and hopefully you won't have missed too much. However, an entire video's worth of stuff has been done, and I'll just run through that now. So, we first of all built a new runway, because the other one was getting worn, built this office block for a bunch of executives after we'd done some research, these shops and lounges for a government grant, and this entire new gate. So in order to start today, we started a new government grant in profits, and in order to do that, we researched lower income and lower property tax. Number 2, a few other of the bits of these research we've done before, and of course operations, because you needed a COO. Next, in order to continue down that particular path, we needed to place and get $600 a day in ad revenue. So I placed those down and then started working on an electrical zone in order to get the passenger announcement speaker system working, and I did it above of the existing maintenance zone, which was done in the last episode, which of course got scrapped. Now, I've spent a lot up here because it took quite a while, and it was mostly just sort of building, which I don't think would have been very interesting. Here I was just placing down a load of speakers in order to try and get good coverage, as I couldn't actually see the heat map because I hadn't researched it yet. Here I'm collecting up the amplifier, which distributes everything to all of those speakers, and had to wait for another one to be built, which was built by that lad there. And once I'd placed down 2 more speakers and all hooked it up, it would have been a successful government grant. Now, once I'd done that, I placed down a few bushes because environment was quite low on the passenger score, so a few more bushes around always makes everyone happy. I then completed maximising profits entirely, which was incredibly good, and started to actually do the government grant with the electrical zone. Placed down some more bushes to finish off what I was doing and make everything look a lot nicer, and as you can see, everything is basically green now, which looks very, very good, and everyone will be very happy about. Next, I did more windows, because that also raises the environment factor, and to be honest, I think it looked nice. And then I had a look at the time analysis, and realised that people wanted to rest, and they were spending a lot of time trying to do that. And so in order to try and speed things up, especially for when it's a bit busier, when we have a bigger airport, I started work on a dedicated rest section to just add a bit more space for benches. Now, as you can see, all the benches out there are absolutely full, with people just sort of queuing. And what also was full was this bit with the air traffic control tower in. Now, how these people got in there, I don't know. They were just stuck. It was quite confusing at the time, and I didn't really know what to do, and so I did what any sane person would do, and just put a door down. And to my surprise, that worked. Everyone was able to get out of there and go about what they were doing. Now, at the end of all of that, the environment factor was very high. As you can see, people aren't that annoyed at the way the airport looks anymore. Next was to do this rest area, finish it off, and as part of that I needed info boards, so I added a few more around the place, just to make sure the info was high everywhere, including the new flight crew and first class lounges, which were built in the last episode, which didn't happen, and obviously also very important to get it in the toilets, because otherwise you'd be completely lost. Then it was just polishing off this rest area, placing down a few bushes, some bins, and some vending machines in order to try and make a bit of money off of people in there. And of course, the most important bit is the benches, which I realised didn't actually fit particularly nicely, so I just sort of put some more bushes down, and to be honest, that really did fix it, and not many people use it either. Next I had the Chief Technology Officer, and built him some offices, which was very quick and swift, and now that that was done, we could continue hiring more people that were needed, and of course, continue with our research and grants. I then spotted that transport capacity was nowhere near what it needed to be. Now this is a concern, because that means people were waiting to transport and they couldn't. So I decided to put a storage zone down where the air traffic control tower is, and build a car park. I thought it could be a good money-making opportunity. So I spent quite a while trying to build one, and as you can see, I didn't do a very good job for a while because I was just sort of winging it, and the problem is that roads don't like being winged. They're not planes, they're roads. So, obviously, they hadn't had their Red Bull, couldn't be winged, and so it took a bit of faffing, but I eventually managed to get this car park built, and as you can see, it's a bit fickle because of the way that it's a one-way road, but even while I was still building it, as you can see, people began to use it. Now, I eventually got rid of those bits at the bottom because it wasn't really easy to get down there. Put the price to $1.50 an hour, and that was that. The car park was working. People were actively using it, and I'd also researched extra buses. And as you can see, all of that wasn't enough. And so I put down some paths and just forgot about the rest of it, because sidewalk fixes all your problems, I suppose. Also put a bit down for our chaps in the delivery zone, just to make them feel a bit more comfortable, although they did have to build it. Once I'd researched operations 2, I could increase the frequency of buses, and once I'd done that, problem was solved. We had managed to get up to a transport capacity that was almost always enough. Now, I decided to faff around a bit and see if I could get an underground car park working. It was a lot of messing about for basically no reason. I eventually scrapped it and went down the investment government grant section. And now that that was done, as you can see, the car park was working. We had a bit of cash in the bank, and that was really all that I managed to do. It was just a lot of building and faffing around and messing, but the airport's in a bit more of a secure place than it was before, and as the sun rises, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.